Hi, we're at the third movement, the Andante Cantabile of the Archduke Trio. This is the theme. It's piano alone, piano solo. Fleshing out where I really need to spend time learning. So far, so good. Obviously, I'm not practicing interpretively right now. I'm just taking stock of where I am, technically, in terms of accuracy. I'll draw a little line to indicate that Beethoven gets to the A major, then he starts again in the seventh. So. Variations start here. These are the kinds of figurations, figural variations that were so popular in the 18th century, early 19th century, where little things can bug you. In other words, there's nothing inherently really difficult about this theme, but you really have to know exactly where your hands move. You have to have a good, comfortable fingering. You have to find a trustworthiness to it. So it's inherently supportive nature. This is very much supportive here of the little utterances from the cello. And even the utterances from the cello. Well, case could be made. I have more of a melodic outline. She has the sustaining qualities. I just got to keep this going. So I've got another. Of the triplety nature of the rhythm, this is spelled out by octaves. And because it's white notes, I have to be particularly careful of where I put my hand. I'm not going to fault either Beethoven or anyone else who wrote figural variations, but the idea of continuity or comfort or whatever is not foremost in their minds. They want the right kind of curlicues, the right kind of lines, and so it's up to us. We, the interpreters and the performers, have to figure out ways of optimizing our sense of comfort and ease so that the appropriately feathered, light, descriptive nature of the writing will be presented without too much fuss or muss. Otherwise, it's so easy for the somewhat non-pianistic or unpianistic writing to turn into an unfortunate, effortful quality, and that's the last thing we want in this dolce section. My instincts, for example, D chord to a second inversion one, the former me decided I should go one note further, so it would only be two hand groups. I'm not sure I agree with him either. I don't, so. Alternate fingering down below. And that means where the hand changes, that's where I think, that's where I put my attention. It's in my left hand, right here. And when there's that degree of casualness in the execution, I know I'm on to something. Yeah. The other advantage is that this hand position recurs on the way back down. Where my second thought and gesture should start. Nice. I want the thumb at the end of the big leap so that the leap can be the most comfortable and the quickest and most efficient. So that reinforces the idea of grouping a second inversion chord after the second note. So it's this and then that. That seems to be a recurring pattern. I'm laughing because it's so simple, but I'm wasting time making it less than simple. So, decide on a fourth finger. The extra notes are interesting because they reduce the number of choices, so in a way it makes it easier to learn them because the choices are fewer. A little awkward. I could do this. In other words, I could be guided by the three-note groupings. But I think I might not be. I'm more likely to be guided by the octaves. And occasionally by the three-note groupings when there's a turn. Here and here and here. Octave, 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 octave. Maybe here, because it's harder to get to to the 5/4 octave on the black note on C sharp, say a fourth finger or a third finger on the A, I can accommodate that. Many smaller-handed pianists wouldn't even begin to try that. They would play third finger and then have to move a lot. But it's just easier to go for the comfort of 4/2 here, and then move your hand. So the continuity is actually enhanced in the linearity by simply optimizing the comfort for each chord. So see what the left hand is up to. I have to make decisions like that here too. Do I just toss my hand to a new position that's more comfortable? Or do I play more consistent octaves? It's always a trade-off with fingerings and gestures and groupings. Certain comfort level I'm starting to achieve. It's not fully accurate and I'm not fully sure what I'm doing, but there's a sense that it's going towards a place, towards a groove that I will fairly soon trust. And there's of course little surprises in the way Beethoven shifts. I want to be in tune with his grouping. And then this, and this. Well, again, this is one of those things where if I go to here and then go 5, 5/4 to 2/1, it's a little awkward to find that black note 5th finger against a white note 4th. So I might want to just go for the comfort of the 3/2 here, and then move my hand. Or then move to 2/3, which for now is how I'm going to notate it. So I'm actually going to play 2/3 twice in two different contexts. Seems remarkably inefficient, but actually what it does is it makes me comfortable here and comfortable here. So in spite of the fact that I'm moving more, I'm moving with a more comfortable hand position, the result of which is, see, I can even trust it when I'm not looking, indicating to me that there's something nice about it. To be more supportive here. Don't want to be suckered into playing a 5th when it would require me to find another bottom note, so going 1, 3, 5 is perfect. In this case, for my hand, 1, 2, 5, and 3. The distribution of the intervals makes a difference. And the color of the note, of the key that I'm going to, also makes a difference. In this case, having 5th on top and then minor 6 on the bottom, it's much easier for me to go 1, 2. With the bigger intervals at the bottom and I'm moving into the black note. Here, I have all white notes. The middle note, the A, is just a 4th above the bass note. So a 3rd finger really feels better. So 1, 2, 1, 2. Even here, actually. So 2, 3, 3. 3, I guessed it and I was right. Here I use 4. Just so long as I don't strain to reach, but rather keep moving my arm. And it's easy. I'm singing the cello. We're going to have a little dialogue. Whoops. Can't be too casual just because my part is simplified. Just fleshing out the shapes to make sure there's nothing unexpected. You know, in this case, he shifts down a fifth, so I move from octave to a 2. It gets me in the bottom octave. No big deal, but it's those little things that make a huge difference in your sense of well-being. Okay. These things are all doublings of either the cello or the violin. The result is they have to be very accurate and very easy, because there's nothing more discouraging for chamber music partners when you're trying to double and the doubling is askew. I'm reviewing fingerings that I've found here. Says you can't put a fifth finger on black notes. One of the first things I learned is learn that rule for a while and then learn when to violate it. I can go 4-3-2 on F sharp minor. I can go 5-4-2. Really, the most important thing is to keep on moving. It's very comfortable. Maybe I'll stick with 4. There was nothing written before, so I'm assuming that probably the more orthodox fingering was the one I went with. And then there's a funny sforzando piano here. What am I doing? What I did was do something like what my hand or ear expected, particularly what my hand expected. And Beethoven wanted something different. So I want to make sure that my fingering also represents what I want to expect. Stop here because I hear some sounds from the outside. I'll continue a little later.